For my stream. Let's see. Let me set up the room name. What am I going to work on today? Perhaps gray science. Let's see. Let's change the name of that to where do I do that? See, design for science. And do gray. There we go. Right. So let's see. I want to get gray science going today. Specifically, I want to do another strip like this, but in gray. I've got my blue one here, making an infinite number of blue sciences. I'm surprised this hasn't backed up further, but the engines produce at a rate that is fairly close to the rate that the blue science consumes it. So they will back up, but obviously it takes quite a bit of time for there to be enough. Was it every 2 seconds we get another 2? No, every 12 seconds we get another 2. So it takes a little bit of time to back up. Here you can see actually the green chips are finally backing up. They will back up because the number of red chips being, or number of green chips being used by these red chip assemblies is less than the amount that's produced. But in the end, you have the red chips outputting onto this right here, the center line, and those will get consumed by the furnaces. Although maybe I've got this a little short, but this should be about this is about right for being able to produce enough purple science packs. There may be a shortage of something here. I assume if there is, it's red science, because this are red chips. But you can actually almost duplicate this entire thing in order to increase the number of red chips right over here and bring the red chips all the way through the whole time. There's enough space in between these in order to be able to do that. So I want to do the same science strip, but this time with gray science. Let's put this in about the same spot. Yeah. So I've come to enjoy having the 2 sciences in the strip. And this is partly because I like to have a center row, which mainly you need for power. I mean, you could potentially use it for conveyor belts, which is also a thing. But being able to have this strip of power and then have the assembly machines sort of right here and right here makes this pretty convenient as far as the design goes, and it allows for a little bit of flexibility, like you can see with the engines. Being able to place 2 components that you need very little of makes this a little more flexible. This is obviously unnecessary, but it does make getting these 2 components to the engines easier. There's a lot fewer undergrounds. And there is less redundancy. It's not quite as beautiful as soon as you notice that there's no symmetry there, but I think it looks good. So gray science, we're looking at 3 very high use of iron in this setup, and that's the gun turrets, I believe, that are going to use a lot of it. In which case, we really want the gun turrets to be the last thing entering into the gray science. We don't want an entire conveyor belt filled with gun turrets, especially early in the game when you might want to build gray science even before blue. If you're trying to deal with military threats, being able to have gray science in order to improve all your military matters is important. Alright, what am I looking for? Turret. Oops. Alright. There we go. And of course I did. I built those too far apart. Great. I'm going to assume that I'm going to need to go down the center with the other two ingredients, piercing rounds magazine and grenade, which is going to mean that there will be a strip of conveyor belts between the machines. In which case, the easiest way to deliver that is a beautiful little T at the end, which I think I've done on all the sciences so far. And that'll get the required materials to the final position. So we need to make the interim materials. I'm going to make everything for the green. Well, there's only one thing. It's iron gear rails. I'm going to make that for the turrets leading right up to them. The question is, can we directly insert gear wheels from a machine and not produce twice as many? Let's see. In theory, in 8 seconds, you could, if you had enough iron, produce enough gear wheels to fill the gray turret. So that's not a problem. But what is a problem is the fact that we will need 2 lines of materials coming up just for it. I'm going to put the iron right here. And this will actually probably need a fast inserter. I'm going to use a fast inserter because at the time you build this, you might not be able to pick up 2 pieces of iron for each inserter movement. So I will assume that a fast inserter is needed in that instance. Long-handed inserter should be able to... see, yeah, we're going to want the copper on another line. And that's probably also going to have an underground. And lastly, we can actually put these closer with the gear wheels. I hope they can insert fast enough to keep up with the demands. So we've got gear wheel. And I don't want to pull from the same underground belt that's providing the gray, or providing iron to the gun turrets, because I think that, at least at the time you're making this, they will strip that belt clear. Especially if you want to tile this to have more than 2 of these. If you want 4, for instance, that belt will be completely empty just based on the 20 iron plate each of these needs every 8 seconds, I believe. Well, certainly 4 of them will strip it. So in this instance, we probably want 2. This does need to be a fast inserter as well, or possibly 2 regular inserters. I'm sure that's equally acceptable. There's a lot of iron plate going into this whole assembly. And those are going to be inserted directly across, so there's no need to have any special undergrounds going on here. Actually, there was no need to have this be underground, except for the fact that this is going to go through. That's fine. I can save on the number of power poles by doing this. Let's see, can I go here? Yes. Perfect. So we've supplied the turrets, which are relatively easy to do, materials-wise. The piercing rounds magazine, I think, is a slightly more complex one. Let's take a look at those recipes. I'll just put some here, just as reference. Grenade, and piercing rounds magazine. Grenade is easy. It's iron plate and coal. It's possible we want the grenade to be the first thing on the assembly line. It's pretty cheap to make. It won't take a lot of resources. And it overlaps with the firearm magazine and needing iron plate. So we could end up having one iron plate line, some of it being delivered to the firearm magazine, which will continue on down, delivering to this assembly machine, and then the iron plate can just insert into the grenades as well on the other side. Although, I guess technically if we put the grenade here, we already have an iron line here. Actually, that's pretty strong reason to place it here. And can we get by just extending this one more? Well, we're going to have to insert onto the belt so that it can come down the center somehow. Well, I guess ideally we would want to have more space to work here in the middle. So this would be an underground reaching across. We'd be able to put this far ahead. And if we assume that the grenades are going to be on the right hand side of this belt, we can also, I think this will insert onto the correct side. Oh, no, what am I doing? I want to pick up from here. I certainly don't want it on the wrong side of the belt. Oh wait. I could do... what is that? Actually, I have a lot of space here, don't I? Oh no, I don't. That's going to insert on the far side. That's the near side. The issue is specifically just getting them on the same side of the belt. Excuse me. I don't want this belt to have grenades on both sides. Otherwise, we will end up with a situation where the grenades and the piercing round magazines don't get to here. So one side definitely has to have the grenades, and the other side definitely has to have the piercing rounds magazine. Let's see, if you're a grenade, let's stop that flashing, it's annoying. I mean, I could do an underground. I do have space for it. I would rather do it without an underground because that's a high material cost, and I would rather this be less than that. Oh, I can do it this way. Reach across. Yeah, this is good. Presumably, this is just going to continue this way. Of course, this does mean that I have not placed. There we go. So that one inserter will make sure that it's inserting on the far side rather than on the near. So all the grenades will be on the right hand side going down. This does mean I did not put coal on this part of the between these two, and I could do that and take up one less space probably in the end for for the entire length of this. It might be one less space if I just move this over and turn these into a longhand. I'd be able to get coal in there. I would have to make it an underground. Or actually, no, I could move these all to the left one and put the coal right here in the middle. And then turn this into an underground, and these would be the coal, and that would be both able to be just go straight through. No undergrounds. So we want these two to be underground free. So this is going to be here. And let's start powering all that. Oh, that hood will be in the way a little bit. No, I can still finagle this because I can go. Will the inserter be able to reach across? I think so. I think that it will insert, like, doesn't swing to the right, so it doesn't matter. An inserter, I think, can always insert onto a hood, no matter what direction it's coming from. Because I think it's inserting into the middle, and then it just picks the one side. No. Well, I can always try it, I guess. Let's see. Let's just put a... Let's just make this some pipes. And we'll see if this inserts. Oh, well, I guess we need an output. Yeah. Fine. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Of course, now I have pipes on the line. How do I pick up from a line without... that's annoying. Not having my body here to walk over it. There we go. Okay. So if this is grenades again. Speedy. Grenade. We'll be able to... too quick. I can insert onto here and then just do that, because that will hit the hood. Did I leave enough space here to pick up the coal? Yes. And that's going to pick up there. And, well, for symmetry's sake, there. Although this whole thing's not symmetrical. And this will need 2 power poles, unfortunately. But we've got space for them. Perfect. So this is putting the grenades on the right-hand side of the center belt. So now we have grenades making it to the gray science and gun turrets making it to the gray science. That leaves only piercing round magazines, which are the harder thing to balance. The good thing about the gray science is you only need one of each of these things to make it operate. All the things that are being made, you only need one of each. So there will be plenty of time to make the piercing rounds magazine. Again, we're not trying to balance anything. That is not the name of the goals here. So I'm going to need to have enough space to do, well, what else goes into, let's give it 3. Copper and steel. And then in theory, we're directly inserting regular firearm magazines directly into the piercing round. Now, is this enough space here to get the ingredients, and these 2 ingredients, and also output only onto the left-hand side of the line? Well, let's see. Okay. That will insert onto the left. Well, there's definitely going to be difficulty getting ingredients here. But we don't need anything in this row, so this could be a line coming through. So that looks like here to here. And let's see. If this is one of those. Alright, so we need to figure out how to get this onto the far hand side. Again, that's going to be an inserter. Can I get that? Well, technically one of these is enough for 2 gray science. I can destroy my... Oh yeah. Right, so I can just do it like I did before when I was saying that I don't need... That still needs to be. I don't need as many... Oh, and of course I want this one to be the piercing rounds. And this to be... I should have copied that. Regular. So this can insert directly and vertically. And that will place that on the correct side. So that leaves this needing steel, just 1 steel, and 5 copper. Sure. And then we can have an iron line here at the end. So, as you would expect, the gray science... Oh, wait, yeah. Did I do a line for coal? No. No. I messed that up. Because I want this to be coal and this to be iron. That actually means that I might have to change a little bit here. This picks up from the iron. This picks up from the coal. Just means I need to put space for a pole right here. Which is fine. There we go. And then 1 pole here. So at this juncture, we have the ingredients we need there. Is there any way to make this a little cleaner? You're picking up from there. That will need to be fast. Because it's 5 copper, and then that's picking up from there. And that's steel. So this technically should run at infinite amounts. Well. Oh. No. Oops. I took out the underground and not the pole. It would have been a while for me to notice that. So this is reaching, it's still not reaching to there, but I could place, no, if I'm going to power that I'm going to have an underground. It's just not enough space. Not enough space. That's fine. Alright, and then you still need to pick up. Oh no, that's it, just the one. Is there a way to get rid of this hood here? I mean, I have a lot of room to work on. I could actually get rid of this hood by using a long inserter. And this will be able to go like that. This makes me want to get rid of that even more. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. See, this is going to miss 1 inserter right there. No, I can't get it. Oh, and this will not reach it. Oh, the only way to do that is to either put undergrounds here or to change this or put an underground here. Can I get this in onto the right hand side? Oh, how do you want to change this out so that it doesn't have an underground? Sure, actually I could put an inserter. That'd be even less elegant than having a underground. Because this is technically inserting onto the right hand side. If this weren't here, it would then be on the correct side. It's still on the correct side, obviously. And, I mean, ideally it would just go straight into here, but the hood's in the way. But then I would be able to put a power pole here on this side. Of course, if I just put an underground here, I can actually get rid of this. Oh, that would be pretty. That appeals to my senses of aesthetic wonder. And it doesn't look accidental then. And power pole there. Alright, and then we've preserved some amount of symmetry. Alright, let's put some loaders in on here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you would need to be able to send 7 lines of material to this. Now this one here, I'm actually going to do something with this. Because I want to check and see. This could probably be one line all by itself being split. Oh, that was wrong. So if we're splitting it, a single full, in theory, line of iron, can it feed both of these? And you would think so, although they're both pulling from the same side. That's always annoying. Alright, well, we'll try that out. I just want to see if that was efficient enough. And this is coal? No. Oh, these are both iron, yes. Right? No. This one's copper. This is iron. So in theory, we could be able to do this with fewer. Oops. This is where you're the coal. You are steel, and you are copper again. Again, that could also probably be one line of copper, but you know, you get the idea. And then if these are all connected up, what happens? What we want to have happen is for once this starts doing science, it never stops. So it's basically all we're guaranteeing is that these two machines are constantly operating. That's what we want to guarantee. And if I've done it right, everything's constructing, and that'll be the case. Is this enough time? Yeah, 3 seconds. Right. Okay, so they've started. Yeah, and turrets and grenades should be the slowest thing getting there. But at this point in time, are your grenades getting there? Yeah. Is this moving? Yeah, okay. I'm picking up, inserting on the right hand side. Alright, so it looks like they are constantly making. I'll turn these to remove unfiltered items. And in theory, this will go on infinitely. There you go. It's relatively compact if you think about it. And more importantly, very importantly, it's tileable. Let's grab everything here. Let's name this a gray science strip. We want that to be a gray science. Here we go, check mark. And let's tile it. Let's move you out of the way. Go, little robots. Now, is this going to be able to, are these lines going to be able to be sustained by a tiled situation? Do we have enough undergrounds? No? Here, have some undergrounds. Alright. That's all moving. Yeah, you can see the iron is definitely running out once it gets to the end there. But I think four is definitely going to, I mean, this will back up in a second. Because you only need one every 10 seconds and not one. So these are just filling up. Oh, the iron gear wheels aren't getting there either. Okay, so I was wrong on trying to split this. That's fine. We'll put that back. So it does require 3 lines, I would say. And even then, you're still looking at a huge amount of iron getting used. And this is all because of these turrets. They just need so much. Let's see, what happens if I change this to a red line? And a red loader. There we go. Well, I mean, there's iron staying on the line with a red one. That's 6. So if you're going to tile it more than 4 long, it looks like you'll need to have a red fast conveyor belt filling onto this line. And this is, of course, because gray science has a ridiculous amount of requirements when it comes to iron plate. Alright, there we go. I think I'm going to wrap it up there with that. I'm probably going to do some C-block next. Just mess around with some C-block. I'll stop the stream and start back up so I can save this separately. Alright, that's great. Hopefully that was informative. See you soon.